What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to a brand new Amazon video. In today's video, I'm going to be teaching you all 5 more tips to survive peak season. We are at the end of October. We are almost in November, which means peak season is almost here. We are almost at peak season now. I hope you have a lot of time saved off. I know I do. I'm prepared for peak season. I'm prepared to just take a bunch of days off. But with that being said, I'm going to give my 5 tips now. And my first one is going to be work at a steady pace. Now, what I mean by that, and I've said this in other videos as well, what I mean by work at a steady pace is don't overwork yourself. Don't go super ham every single day. Don't try to reach the top 5%, or maybe don't try to just basically don't try to get those big achievements every single day, because like I said in the last video, they might be offering some giveaways, maybe a Fire Stick if you're the top 1 or 2 stores or something like that, or a Kindle or something like that. My tip here is if you try to do that every single day, you will eventually burn out really quickly. In the first 2 or 3 weeks of peak, or maybe even the first week itself of peak, you will eventually burn out. And with all that overtime you're going to be working, you're going to become super tired. And in the middle of the peak, you're just going to be done. You're going to be tired. You're not going to want to go to work anymore. You're going to wish that you could just take off every single day. And overall, you're just going to really burn yourself out. So my first tip is don't overwork yourself. If you have FC games at your facility, I know not all facilities have this, but a lot of them do. If you have FC games, my recommendation would be to turn on the floor versus floor one, or whichever one you want really, and just check your leaderboard. Check the leaderboard and check where you're at. My tip, and a lot of people say this, is just stay above the top 10%. If you go to the bottom 5%, you will get written up. But if you stay above that, or my recommendation is top 10%, or at least the top 50. A lot of people will say top 10%. I usually aim for 50 to 75, try to aim in that area. Basically middle of the road to the third quarter. If you stay there, you'll definitely be good. That is a place where you can work at a very steady pace, and you don't have to overwork yourself to reach that limit. And yeah, but if you fall below the bottom 75 or the top 75%, and you're in the 90, 85 area, you're still good. So a lot of people will say just stay above the top 10%. I agree with that. If you just watch your FC games and do the math in your head, because it doesn't actually say top 10%. It'll say out of 230 people or whatever, you are 100 or 150. Just do the math in your head, calculate what it takes to be in the top 50 to 75, or at least the top 90, and you'll be good. So just work at a steady pace, and make sure you're using FC games to your advantage, because that'll let you know where you're at in the leaderboard, and it'll also just help you stay wherever you want to go. Aim for the middle, aim for the bottom 75 or the top 75. You'll be decent, you'll be good. Tip number 2 is to have a lot of water on hand, and also bring snacks if possible, like nutrition bars or candy. This is a really weird one, but a lot of people say that they bring candy to the Amazon facilities. I've seen this a lot. People say they'll bring single pieces of candy, or maybe a tiny little pack of candy, and every hour, once per hour, they will eat a piece of candy, and apparently that keeps them energized. I've actually never tried this tip before, but for a lot of people, I've heard that it works. So maybe you could try that, just bring some candy or a nutrition bar. I've had to eat during my shift. It's not allowed. You will have to hide it. So yeah, if you're working at your station, you are not allowed to eat. It's easy to hide it, or just eat one piece of candy or something like that real quick and throw away the trash. It's pretty easy to hide it, and honestly, most managers probably won't care, but there is a chance that you will get in trouble for it. I doubt you'll get written up, but it is a possibility. So bring that, and then again, number 1, stay hydrated. Bring some water. Bring if you can, buy one of those 64. Let me show you real quick. Now this is what I have. This is 64 ounces, or a little bit over 64 ounces of water. As you can see right here, have to hide the brand. I bought this on Amazon for $4. So if you want to go ahead and invest in something like this, you could really do so. Honestly, one of those lasts the entire shift. If you want to go buy one, go ahead. I am not going to link the description to that. I'm actually not even going to say which brand that is. If any brands want to hit me up and sponsor me, as long as your bottle is good and it's actually worth buying, I will definitely go ahead and shout out your product. Hit me up. My business email is in the description of my profile, so go ahead and hit me up. Again, this is mine. I'm not going to show the brand because I need some sponsorship. So but yeah, I would definitely recommend buying a big one like that. It's 64 ounces. That'll last you throughout the entire shift. And just another thing that I like about this one specifically, and a lot of bottles do this, but it has the times. It'll tell you 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it has the times of where you're supposed to be at, and it'll keep you achieving your water goals. You definitely want to stay hydrated during peak. Now, I would recommend, if you are not somebody who usually drinks that much water per day, which you should be, but if you're not, go ahead and buy it now and drink it before peak, because when you first start drinking this much water, you're going to be using the restroom a lot more than usual. So definitely buy this now so that when peak comes, you're not, you know, wasting a bunch of time on task. Tip number 3 is just to wear comfortable clothing, wear comfortable shoes. You know, make sure you're comfortable every day. If you need to, buy really good shoes that you know will last and be, you know, worth the money. And if you can't buy new shoes, at least buy some insoles to put into your shoes. So just in case your shoes aren't super comfortable, those will definitely help. I've heard a lot of people say that they buy those specifically for Amazon. Just buy some insoles, enter them into your shoes so you can have some more comfortable shoes, and it'll be a lot easier to get through your day like that. Some people even buy compression socks. You know, just dress comfortably every single day of work. Don't dress like in tight jeans or anything like that. Dress comfortably, wear what you want, and be comfortable, because doing this for so many days, you know, 50 hours a week every single week for several weeks is a lot of work. You want to be comfortable during those times, you know, not sweating, not wearing anything too hot, not wearing anything that's going to be like to keep you cold in the warehouse, anything like that. Just wear what you want, but be comfortable as well. So tip number 4 is going to be a different one, something a little bit different. I've never mentioned before, but definitely I would recommend to plan your holidays way in advance. So it is late October right now. Right now is a really good time to already know what you're going to be doing for Thanksgiving and Christmas, or whatever you celebrate. So I would definitely recommend to get that planned out right now. Make sure you let your family know that you're going to be working a lot and that you might end up working Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is on a Thursday this year, so if you work on a Thursday, there's a possibility your facility might stay open or might do a half day. I believe last year mine did a half day. Some stay closed, some just stay open the entire time. So honestly, look out for that and have it planned. Make sure that your family or whoever you're going to be hanging out with knows that you might be working on Thanksgiving, and if not, or at least try to take some time off that day and let them know that that is the only day you could do, because the day before and the day after you're most likely going to be working if you're already scheduled for that. If you're back half, you're going to be scheduled for that day. And then Christmas is on a Saturday, which means Christmas is on a Saturday and Christmas Eve is on a Friday. Now if you're like me and unfortunately you have divorced parents, that you already know what that means. You have to plan for 2 separate families when you have divorced parents. And if you're also like me and you're married, that means you have to plan for 3 separate families, because you have to plan for your mom's family, your dad's family, and then you also have to plan for your spouse's family. So that's 3 different families you have to plan for within 1 or 2 days. So definitely let your family know ahead of time that if you don't have time off, you're gonna have to work Christmas Eve. That's just it. All facilities, I don't think any of them close for Christmas Eve. Christmas Day for sure, you're most likely gonna get off. I said this in the last video, not all facilities take off, but most of them do for Christmas Day. So you should have Christmas Day for free. So you might not have to worry about Christmas Day, but just be cautious that Christmas Eve, you might be working that day and you might have to actually either take that day off to hang out with your family, or just let your family know, hey, like I only have Christmas Day off. We can either do something the week before, or maybe a couple of days after Christmas, or we can't do anything at all, or we have to slot 2 or 3 families worth of time into one single day. So just like I said, plan your vacations. Let everyone that you're going to be hanging out with know that you are going to be busy. You might not get off of work, and you're going to have to let them know which days you're going to be free, and just plan something out in advance. Make sure it is all planned out at least a couple weeks in advance, preferably like a month or 2 in advance. And lastly, for tip number 5, we're going to be doing another unusual one, and that is meal prep for the entire week when you have your off day. So if you're working 5 days a week and you have 2 days off, or maybe you're working 6 days a week, you have 1 day off, whatever it is, whatever off day that you have, meal prep for the entire week. Because trust me, and this is specifically more for people who live on their own, or maybe for people who just cook all the time and bring their food to work, my recommendation would be to meal prep for the entire week. So on your off day, go ahead and meal prep for, let's say you work 5 days that week, meal prep for all 5 of those days, because trust me, at least at some point, you're gonna start getting to the point where if you're working so much overtime every single week, you're gonna start getting tired, and you're gonna wanna start going home and just going to sleep immediately, heading into the shower and just going straight to bed. And then you're gonna wake up and realize, I don't have anything to eat for lunch today, and then you're either gonna have to go buy lunch or you're just gonna have to starve. Trust me, you do not want that to happen, so I'd highly recommend meal prep. So on your off days, meal prep for the entire week, because you do not want to start getting tired every day after work and then not wanting to cook and then not wanting to eat, and it'll just suck. So tip number 5, my last tip, is to meal prep. It's a different one, but I definitely recommend it for the people like me who live on their own, or at least live with a spouse or whatever it may be, where you do cook on your own. Meal prep. But I mean, that's it. Those are the 5 tips that I have to survive peak part 2, and I hope you guys like this one. If you did, leave a like and subscribe down below. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. I'll be back with some more Amazon content this week. I'll catch you guys on the next one. I love you all. Oh, wait, before I say peace, If you got a water bottle and you need some sponsors, hit me up. Peace.